The story opens with Rogue lying injured on the ground. When he sits up, sharp pain surges through his chest, for his ribs are broken. Around him, his companions are scattered, battered, and wounded, while one of them still struggles against the undead. At that moment, the Demon King's authority manifests, summoning countless undead from beneath the earth. In an instant, an entire undead army rises before them. Confronted with this sight, Rogue shifts into his skeleton form. With a cry to his priest companion who had realized the authority, he demands power to fight. The priest responds, granting Rogue strength. Empowered, Rogue charges ahead and begins cutting down the undead one by one. The battle rages on, yet danger looms closer. Behind one of Rogue's companions, the Demon King himself appears and strikes, though the attack is narrowly dodged. Preparing another deadly blow, the Demon King is suddenly countered. The hero severs one of his arms and points his sword forward, declaring the fight at its end. But the Demon King's severed arm regenerates instantly. It lashes forward, gripping the hero tightly. The hero wonders if the enemy is preparing to self-destruct, but Rogue leaps in, smiling at his companion. He slashes through the Demon King's hand, and with defiance declares that if death is inevitable, then they would face it together. Rogue unleashes his powerful technique, the transition of the abyss, leaving his allies stunned by the sheer force of his attack. As the dust clears, Rogue is seen barely standing. Relief washes over the hero, who believes him safe, but then notices Rogue's arm has been severed. Even so, the Demon King still remains alive. He taunts them, questioning if all of this was nothing more than a meaningless death. Rogue lashes out with a kick to the Demon King's face, only to be slammed violently to the ground and pinned beneath the enemy's crushing hand. The priest steps forward, granting the hero divine strength. The hero charges, wielding the holy sword and the authority of light, delivering a strike that slices the Demon King in two. His body collapses, crashing to the ground. The priest asks if they are safe, but the hero calls him closer. As the priest rushes over, he sees Rogue's body beginning to regenerate. At that moment, the Demon King speaks again. He asks if they received the blessing well, admitting his own fluster, before revealing that this is how it was meant to be. The hero stares in shock as the Demon King explains that his physical body has already served its purpose and is now collapsing. He declares their victory. His head separates from his body and falls to the earth. Yet even in his final moments, he delivers his last message. He warns that countless choices await them, that despair will follow, and even when crushed under the weight of responsibility, they must not stop. He prays that their journey finds a different ending than his own, for he and his kind had lived in emptiness and folly. With that, his body dissolves into nothingness. Thus ended the battle between the hero and the Demon King, a clash that determined the fate of the world. In the days that followed, time seemed a blur. The wizard was captured by the headmaster of the magic school and sent back to his studies. The elf set out on a journey home to her distant land. The priest gave his farewells and once again withdrew from the secular world. And the others too returned to their places. The false light faded, and life continued under the sun as though none of it had ever happened. Fear retreated from their daily lives, and so an age of peace endured for a long time. More than 150 years later, deep within the forest, Rogue is seen seated beneath a tree. His body, now entirely skeletal, bears the weight of centuries, for he has lived far longer than mortal years should allow. He reflects on the passage of time. Mountains once unshakable have crumbled, plains have turned to deserts, and the only constants seem to be the stars above and himself. The immortality forced upon him, the so-called blessing from the Demon King, has become a curse that will never fade. He wonders at its purpose, questioning what meaning remains in an existence that cannot end, in a life where he must remain alone forever. As he looks upward, a shooting star crosses the sky. In that silent moment, a child wanders into the forest and stumbles upon Rogue. Startled by the sight, the child bears witness to a truth long hidden. 150 years after the fall of the Demon King, the time that had once stopped finally begins to flow again.